Death is an earthly scientific passage predicted by either massive physical injury or progressive bodily deterioration. There is as little validity in a supposed death dream as there is in the cliched image of death itself as a grim, bloodless ghoul whose bony finger reaches out to tap you on the shoulder when your number's up.
Frasier, it's time to go.
Yeah, it's a genetic quirk in the Clavin family that we all have 2 extra teeth. You see, that's the only way that we can prove that we are the rightful heirs to the Russian throne.
Hello in there, Cliff. Tell me, what color is the sky in your world?
Thank you very much for joining me here.
Thanks, man. Pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you here. I got a chance to see Lars Shrike Walks the Night.
Thanks. It's a very interesting movie.
It is. I have just a couple questions for you before we get there, if that's okay.
Okay, sure, yeah.
One of my favorite comedy styles is farce. I absolutely love farce, and growing up watching Cheers and particularly Frasier, I really enjoyed how you guys brought that into the sitcom. I thought it worked exceptionally well. And I know that a lot of people, of course, are familiar with you from television, from movies. They may not know your extensive theatrical background. You have an enormous, of course, stage background. I was wondering if that stage background really helped you kind of drive the character that was Frasier.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no question. You learn about your audience and about the relationship between your performance and the audience, especially in a live situation in theater. Now, the presumed relationship you have when you get on television, especially in a sitcom, is that audience is there. You just trust that they're there. Now, what's nice is that we actually have real bodies in the seats when we actually shoot a sitcom. So, in the last manifestation of it, we ended up in a stage there were over 400 people sitting in the theater. I've played houses much smaller than that throughout my entire lifetime. So, what was great was the relationship there, riddled with recognizable comedy, moments that they were anticipating. They were ahead of us a lot of the time, but in a fun way. One of the most deadly things that ever happens is if an audience is ahead of you, usually you lose them. And in the case of Frasier being funny, they knew that something was going to mess up. They knew that it was going somewhere, and their delight came in finding how it went wrong. And so that element of our sort of equation of doing the show just was intact the minute it started, and people were lining up to go to the show. It was a really fun experience. You do learn that in stage, in theater, and then it transfers beautifully to sitcom. Sitcoms, of course, have kind of fallen on hard times, honestly. Well, I haven't really seen a good one in quite a while. But yes, it's a tool that you develop in live theater, and it sticks with you. In terms of farce, yeah, farce is sort of a French invention, I guess, from a couple hundred years ago. Moliere and Scribe and the well-made play and all the stuff that they talk about, hidden documents, and there's all these sort of elemental pieces that are sort of set pieces for what is farcical. But Niles and Frasier earned it by rooting everything in some real situation, something that you believed, and so their behavior, though uncharacteristic in any other situation, was characteristic for them. So you could believe it. If it's not believable, you can't go there with them.
Absolutely, yeah. Farce with its mistaken identities, misunderstandings, slamming doors, and the pace, all building to a crescendo, is just amazing. You mentioned
you're obviously an aficionado.
Thanks. You mentioned fallen on hard times. I would like to touch on that because, of course, growing up in the 80s and 90s, we were filled with comedy. Comedy was in the movies, on television, and it was all kinds of different comedies. Dirty comedy, witty comedy. It was everywhere. Nowadays, I'd love to get your take on the current state of comedy in our culture. I think with our society and culture right now, we're just a little bit too sensitive. And as a result, it can be difficult for certain types of comedy.
That's a very interesting observation. I think you probably put your finger right on it. We have collectively, as a society, maybe it's politically, maybe it's just the natural outgrowth of certain trends that have taken root and taken hold of our contemporary culture. But people have lost their sense of humor. People don't have a great ability to laugh at themselves, to harpoon themselves a little bit with a sense of humor. You know, everything's important. Everything's serious. Everything is just an affront or crisis and you know what? None of them are. But hopefully we'll get to a new place where the new filter returns, or the filter returns that allows people to look through it and go like, yeah, we really are. I'm taking myself a little too seriously. One of my favorite moments is in the very first show of Frasier, where he starts to complain about, well, she's a kook, she's this, and she said, and he says, what the hell, she's not even be, and Frasier says, then what's my problem? It's like,
Dad, what do you think you're doing?
You wanted me to pick one, I picked one.
But she's a kook, I don't like her.
Well, what difference does it make to you? She's only gonna be here when you're not.
Then what's my problem?
this is something we all need to learn. What the hell is my problem? I mean, it's okay. I think we could return to a sense of humor would be a great thing, but unnecessary. I don't know, powers that be, whoever's in charge of crap, they're just not in the mood for laughter to take the bite out of things. You know, they get more mileage by keeping it serious, even if it's just like you stubbed your toe, you know.
Absolutely. I certainly hope we get that back as well.
Yeah.
I would also like to call to attention, you have a new film out as well, Young Washington, in which you co-star in that also. Years ago, you participated in a biography show on George Washington as well. I was curious if Washington was a passionate subject for you.
Washington has always been a passionate subject for me. I'm historically devoted to the idea of our founding. For whatever reason, maybe I was that strange little boy, who knows, but it resonated with him. All men are created equal. I thought these are the most extraordinary words I've ever read. And you know what? And people died for those words. And I thought, boy, that's something. That is really something. And, they've been picking apart that document for a long time, but Thomas Jefferson wrote that when he was 33 years old, and he knew what he was writing. People kind of go like, oh, some old white guy. Well, he wasn't an old white guy when he wrote it. He was just a young man with a lot of dreams who lived in a world that he thought needed to change, and laid out some principles as to how that might be the best way to go about it. And he knew that those things would be fought for, important, resonate, and echo throughout the subsequent generations.
Why can I not become a British officer?
Because you are not British, George. There must be a path.
There is not for you.
Go dig my holes widen.
I could go there, survey it for you.
So you have ambition.
Since the Crown sent me to serve, I've yet to have a good experience with a colonist.
I look forward to changing your opinion.
George Washington, of course, fought for them and led those people, and with sheer, almost individual, superhuman strength, he steered a group of people, unruly group of people, basically three factions of people, toward independence and nationhood and a different identity, a different kind of government than had ever been imagined before. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful I ended up in that place. This place where these ideas still resonate, still have power. And so I'm a flag waving, history buff, and I love George Washington. I always look at that monument in the mall in America, and I always say, well, it's not big enough. He was so amazing. That's barely scratching the surface, that thing, and it's, enormous.
Whoa.
Lord Fairfax, begging your pardon. I've dreamed of seeing your library.
These are my true tenants. Who are you?
George Washington, sir, brother to Lawrence.
I didn't know he'd invited you.
Neither did he, if you must know.
Ah, so I've caught you slipping in, and you caught me slipping out. Come. I can't take much of these soirees, so I hide until my wife finds me and rousts me back out. When vice prevails and impious men bear sway, the post of honor is a private station.
Cato.
You've seen the play?
No, but I've read it 50 times over. 'Tis not in mortals to command success, but we'll do more. will deserve it.
Well said.
Do you happen to have Pope's essay on man? Would it be imposing if I asked to borrow it? I obtained a letter of introduction from your cousin.
An eccentric fellow, isn't he?
Indeed he is. He lent me a book on surveying from his library. Not nearly as grand as yours. I put it to good use and obtained my license. I know you own 5 million acres now.
The only thing a landowner ever desires is the plot next to his. Yes, I do.
I also know a great amount of that land is in the Ohio Valley and has not been charted.
I sense a looming storm over the Ohio territory. Inevitable, I'm afraid.
I could go there, survey it and map it for you. That land that isn't properly measured cannot be properly valued or protected.
Much of that territory is unexplored. Many have traveled there, never to be seen again.
Yes. But no man who lived a life of ease ever left a name worth remembering, sir. I'll take the risk upon myself. I'll make it to the furthest reaches of your plot and report back. And I'll put my name to that promise.
Is this man bothering you, sir?
Hardly. I accept your proposal, George.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the party, Washington.
Demand the French leave.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? Tell your king we will never leave.
Then they will force you to leave.
Oh.
These are not the open battlefields to which you're accustomed.
I have fought in a great many battlefields.
Not in the New World, sir.
If you fail, I'll have a colonial to blame.
This is a direct order, and we will obey it!
Fire! It's not your fault, George.
Major Washington.
You lost.
You started a war!
George, there's no fairness here.
That is not the way the world works!
Then someone should remake it!
Choose your path. Make it yours.
Forward!
And prove them wrong.
Okay, well, we're chatting about Lars Shrike Walks the Night. First question for you. I got to get your reaction when you first encountered this project or got the script, because this is not your typical film, very pleasingly so.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. Gary Walko is a great filmmaker. He's an interesting filmmaker. He has done the oddest things. He's done a thing about tracking coffee beans through Europe. I mean, one of his stories. Great baristas. He just has an imagination and a curiosity about the world. That is, well, I've never known anybody like him. So he comes to my house once in a while. We've known each other for 30 years, and discusses new ideas. And maybe he's looking for a little funding for an idea he's got, and I just go, oh, Carol, yeah, I'll give you a little money for that or whatever. But in this case, he described it to me, and I thought, well, I should play that. And he was, huh? But a couple of days later, he called and said, I think you'd be great in it. And so we set about making it happen. Found a 3-week slot there in the middle of the winter, and went out to Palm Springs and froze our asses off. It was quite brutal. So what's interesting is the actual shoot was a kind of odyssey for the actor as well as the character. I mean, it was tough. It was tough to go through. I mean, I was freezing, and I was wearing those chains the whole time. And it was not an easy performance to do. I took a lot of lumps and banged and fell down and ran and all sorts of stuff. But I loved the movie. I love the story of it. I love this. We're all that brave, intrepid little soul still trying to figure out who the hell they are and why they're here. And it's very creative. Gary has such a great imagination, and what he establishes about Lars is so fun, and the two different worlds that he seems to step in and out of. It's an extraordinary movie, and his journey to L.A.
All I have is a name. And why Lars Shrike? Analyze.
Analytic circuits impaired.
Was I a test tube baby on a spaceship? Was amnesia engineered into my genes?
So that's what you look like.
You.
I.
I don't often do this, but I actually watched the film twice. I got a screening copy of the film. During the second time, I really noted how multi-layered the film is.
Yeah.
What justifies existence, relying on technology as your only friend, the importance of human interaction. There's a lot going on in this film. And was that something that just jumped right off the page at you when you read it?
You know what? We shifted some of the writing as we would do scenes and stuff like that, or we would talk about where we thought it should go. But in terms of the performance, there's an ironic quality to the character. He's living in this kind of juxtaposition of what's real, what isn't real, what am I understanding, what am I not understanding, who are these people, what is that? And I loved his sort of almost laconic approach to it. Right? I mean, I love the line where he says, I have mixed feelings. it's a great sort of underplayed truth that we can all understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the sequence in the library as well. It's so touching, and it's played very, very well.
Is this a prison planet?
Only if you think of it that way.
And you mentioned that you were kind of rewriting a little bit as you went. Was that scene particularly looked at?
You know what? Each scene it's sort of refined a little bit as you get into the room. I mean, Gary's open to that kind of stuff as well. It was pretty much on the page already, but the idea was on the page certainly. But I loved her performance too, when she sort of throws him the lifeline, which is great. Well, the little note. It's wild, and he has this odd ability to charm people. I think it's his innocence, though. I think it's like they just think, well, this is a wet, puppy dog. So
pretty much he's out there by himself. Quite an acting challenge, because this is an entirely different role for you and quite a unique character and unusual film, but also you do pretty much the entire film with one eye. Was that something that was right from the beginning, or was that something that
was pretty much right from the beginning? Yeah, that little patch, me and my patch, sort of fashioned out a part of his prison uniform. It was a little odd to kind of have that lack of balance in your perception, but it was all it's right for the movie. It's just right for everything. It's just his limited vision, his inability to see things beyond a certain way. It's just it's metaphorically it works, but it just it's a physical challenge as well. And that was there. That was hard. I'm not sure it was my good eye or my bad eye that covered.
Yeah.
No power left. No power left.
What is that?
It's a cell phone.
From a prison cell.
Where did you get those clothes?
I got them in prison. Although I'm not so certain about that anymore.
Why are you here?
I escaped.
To this?
Well, speaking of the cast as well, you get to work with veteran character actor David Clennon as well, and he and you have some very powerful moments as well in the film.
Yeah, that's a great couple of scenes. We did sort of freestyle in those a little bit. Some of the speech that he says in the office when he says, "I wanted to find out where I was born." That's amazing. It's really touching and beautiful, and his understanding of the universe and this place that he's living in now, and light and heat, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And he's terrific in it. And I think David did Lars Shrike in a different movie.
Interesting.
I mean, this character is something that Gary Walko has spent a good deal of time sort of nurturing and developing. And he's got a couple of other ideas where he goes now. And who knows, we may do it.
I didn't ask to exist.
I didn't ask to either. Are you glad that you do?
What?
Exist?
I have mixed feelings.
What have you got coming up next? What are you working on in the future there?
Well, I've been working on a mobile app about American history. It's a personal project, personal sort of a pet project called The American Revelation, talking about how the future wisdom of our country can still be found basically in the words and deeds of the men who founded it, and to kind of try to cultivate that connection in an organic way with our young people, because our education system's kind of shot, for want of a better word. We're going to do our best to enhance our understanding of where we came from, so we know who we are.
Certainly seems very timely and very appropriate. I think that's great. I wish you best of luck with that. Kelsey Grammer, I want to thank you very, very much for joining me here on Ultrasonic Film. I really appreciate it. Good luck with Lars Shrike, Walks the Night. I highly recommend people check it out. It's a wildly original film, and you give a great performance.
Thank you, James.